This week I thought I'd just mention something about art, when you're buying art. You know, I also rent out rooms in my house, and this quite often happens that, well, at the moment I have 2 rooms empty, and yet I have a lot of people asking every day. Why is that? Well, I'll give you an example. I had this lady rang me up just recently, and she was ringing for her son. I said, well, why isn't he ringing? Well, he's only young, she said, and she didn't, it seemed like she didn't think he was up for the whole process of calling me or even coming around for an interview. Well, so we sort of had a discussion about that, and she said, well, look, what do you want? You want someone just to rent the room, you know, and just to sleep there, or do you want a personality? And all I could think of when she said that was, yeah, a personality. But she just assumed, because this is so common, that actually I just wanted to rent the room out and for someone to sleep there, as they say. That's a big red flag for me, is when they say they just want somewhere to sleep, right? Because it basically means they don't have a personality. So anyway, all I was thinking of was actually, yeah, a personality. I listened to a talk for 5 minutes telling me all about this nonsense. And then I said, look, if he can't call me up and then come around for an interview by himself, right? Because I've had this situation before, and I'm actually interviewing the mother, even though it's the kid that's going to be living there. Anyway, I said if he can't do that, he can find another place to live. Anyway, what the earth's that got to do with art? Well, it's the way I think, and that's what I generally ramble on about, isn't it? But when you buy a piece of art, you know, in a simplistic sense, it could be the same situation. Why are you buying it? Are you buying it just because it's like a scene, if you like? Or is it something much more? Does it have a real personality that draws you into it, you know? I mean, what is it? Is it something that you're just doing because for whatever reason, but it doesn't mean so much to you? So it's just a sort of transaction and you end up with this thing. Or is it something that you just have to buy, you know? And that's the only way. I very rarely buy art, but you know, and I bought some these figures once in Cuba, these clown heads, sculptures of clowns, you know, and that was in Cuba. It was very difficult because there they don't have proper wrapping or anything, but I just had to buy them, you know. They had so much personality, if you like. And that's my whole point. What is art for you? Is it something kind of that's there and doesn't, you know, doesn't mean a heck of a lot to you? Or is it just something that just has a very strong personality? Now, a lot of that is going to come down to how it was made. Because the truth is, a lot of artists these days are really just trying to impress you, right? And if they're trying to impress you, rather than them just enjoying themselves and having a real passion for what they're doing, if they're trying to impress you, you may fall for it. So you're buying something because you've been impressed, right? Which is a different thing, in my opinion, than buying something, right? Not because you're impressed, but because you have this this just really strong yearning for it. And this comes down to, like I was suggesting, why the actual artist was created in the first place. Anyway, I'm kind of, that's just what I want to talk about. I mean, to me, obviously, it's very important. Personality and character is everything. Everything shouldn't be a transaction, you know, especially when it comes to people and when you're living with people, or you know, with art, it's, to me, it's incredibly important that it be much more than just a transaction. Okay, so this week I've found a spot on the side of the road yet again. Seems to be a common theme in the last few weeks. When I'm driving somewhere and I find something on the side of the road. I'm in this town, I think it's Viera, which is not far from Melbourne, in Florida on the Atlantic coast. Melbourne being where Jim Morrison was born, actually. You can see the house where he grew up in. Anyway, it's just something I spied on the side of the road, and it looks interesting. So I'm gonna show you what it is and then crack on into it. I was gonna do one out of the beach, but it was a little bit windy. And give a talk about the treasure, how the Treasure Coast, as it's known, got its name. But I'll have to do that another week. Anyway, this is the spot that I was driving past and spied, and so I'll show you. Basically, looks like this. It's gonna look something like that. So I'll get on into it now and show you as I progress through the sketch. We'll see what we end up with. Okay. Right, thanks for watching this week's show. Another sketch down in Indian ink. Another random place in sunny Florida. So tune in next week for another sketch somewhere. It's Simon Boyd Art on Facebook and Indian Ink Sketches on Instagram. Have a fantastic week, and I'll see you next week.